My man Eric Roberson with Lessons. Let me tell you guys, I've been stuck on that song ever since I first played it right here on the Love Offering. So I had to reach out to my man and we have to talk about this. Now, you guys know that I'm a sucker for just a good, solid R&B song. I feel that's one of them, the original and the remix. But either way, got my man Eric Roberson on the phone right now. I just want to know how you dove into this. Like, how did you what was the process like for you to give us such a passionate moment?
I always say what I work on. I call it honest music, and I try to really dive in to where I'm at. What I see. For me, I don't try to write a song every day. What I try to do is I try to find moments that kind of take my breath away, moments that make me sit back and go, "Oh my God!" And then I go to write, right? And it was just interesting. I think, when Anakin and Vader, who produced the song, who gave me the music, when they gave it to me, they had to check to see if it was a couple available. They had talked to some other artists before they had talked to me, and they said, "Well, let me just check and see if they want it." We talked with them before, and I said, "Yeah, no problem, cool." Because when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, the music's beautiful," and then once they called me back and said, "Hey, it's available," we called them, I think it's all good. It just happened to be that night was leading into my night of my anniversary. So, when they first sent it to me 3-4 days ago, I probably would have wrote something different. I'll be honest with you. I probably would have wrote down. It might have been a great song. We might still be talking about it, but it would have been different. It would have been whatever was on my mind that night. And it was just interesting that when they did call back and they said, "Hey, it's open, rock out to it," it was 1 o'clock in the morning of my anniversary,
Oh, wow.
And I was like, so I think just in going to the studio, we're still in the pandemic, it's quiet, the world is really, really quiet. And I went in the studio, I think as I'm loading everything up, I think I was just thinking about that. I don't think I was really trying to if I'm really keeping 100, really impress my wife. I always want to impress her, you know what I mean? But I don't know if I was down there who am I gonna write this song? I think I was really just thinking man, we've been really blessed. These kids, man, this and that, so we're making it all right, And I had the line, "God has a funny way of showing you lessons." And I think more because I write a lot of essays and poems and all different kinds of stuff. And I was writing something about God's a comedian. So don't take stuff so serious. And sometimes he's sticking. That's what I said. God's a comedian. Don't take everything so serious. Sometimes he sticks his leg out to trip you up just for the hell of it. And it was a play on words, just for the hell of it. God's a comedian. So I think just kind of playing around with that idea was what kind of maybe gave me God has a funny way of showing you lessons. And then once I hit record, that was it. I didn't have anything else written. But for me, a lot of times I'll kind of look introspectively and go, all right, who do I want to be on a song? What do I want to, who do I want to become? And then I just try to sing or write from that place. And that's really what Lessons was. Lessons was really, was capturing a very, very honest moment in a very quiet time.
Now, you've actually linked up with some of my other favorite male artists in the game, Raheem Devon, Kevin Ross, also Anthony Hamilton for this remix. How did you decide on who to reach out to and have them join you on this? And what was that whole process like?
To be honest with you, it was really who I was speaking to at the time. It'd have been great if I talked to Tank that week and things of that nature. I did reach out to Anthony, and I think I was talking to Anthony about something else, another project before, and I think he was just like, "Yo, I really love that song." And I was like, "If you love the song, here's the instrumental." You know what I mean? It was and I think it's just about the fellowship of it. I'm a big fan of each one of them, Kevin Ross, Raheem, and Anthony, for them to kind of join in and tell their side, tell their testimony was really great because their perspective, what they sang and wrote about was different than what I wrote about. So I really loved hearing that. And when I really went and stopped and listened to what they said, I was like, man, this is really solid what each one said, So it did great. And I was hoping that that it wouldn't necessarily eat up the interest of the single, but yet it will be its own kind of private thing, and it's doing great, man. It's continuing the conversation, which is what I would want to happen.
Now, you've been doing this thing independently. I did not realize you already had over a dozen albums. So you've been doing this thing for a while. So how do you get to a point, as far as with each project, how do you decide what story is going to be told on each project, seeing that you've had so many efforts released?
For me, it's always creativity driven, right? Like for example, I think you write a song like Lessons, and you say, and mind you, Lessons wasn't the first song I wrote. Lessons, it just so happened that when I recorded it that night, I was filming myself, and I posted it. Mind you, Lessons is a special record. I'm not saying that, it's just a normal song, but I was in the midst of recording, which I'm always doing. I'm not saying I'm always recording an album. What happens is I'm always creating, always chasing ideas. And then what happens, you find a lane. It almost tells you that oh wow, I think this is an album. You'll know. Like for me, I know when it's an album, right? There's never like huge breaks of me not recording, but you'll get into a lane where like the stuff just starts falling out of you and it's like connected. Like I really believe, I always say that my proof of that God is real is through songwriting.
You actually have a show this weekend in Nashville, and I already had plans to go check out another show in Atlanta. So I'm feeling a little way about that. So I'm going to have to catch you at another spot for sure.
All good.
But we're kind of getting back into the whole aspect of live entertainment. And that's like one of my favorite pastimes. How do you approach your live shows now? How has it actually been affected on your end?
It doesn't affect the stage show. It might affect what happens before and what happens afterwards. We're very open. I'm an open book. And I made my living off of walking off stage and going out to the crowd and shaking everybody's hand and hugging everybody and taking pictures, signing CDs. And right now, we can't do it. Right now, it just wouldn't be wise. It wouldn't be the smartest thing to have those kind of meet and greets and those kind of interactions. But guess what? We can have that interaction from the stage. The only difference might be with back in the day, if I felt the spirit, I might have handed somebody a microphone in the crowd. Like, let me hear you sing that line. I may not be handed, handed somebody a microphone right now because the goal is we want to make sure everybody gets there safely, everybody leaves safely, including myself. I come back to my family, healthy, and it's a beautiful thing. I think there's a new appreciation, opportunity we have to get on the stage. I didn't take it for granted before, and I damn sure don't take it for granted now. People are coming out because they love us, man. They come out because they love us and they want to support us, and you can't take that lightly.
Most definitely. So what can your fans, old and new, expect? What's coming up?
More content, new song. Like we're slowly starting to leak the album out. Next month we'll have another single come out, though our focus will always be on Lessons. We might even have another Lessons remix. I'm kind of dropping that, it's not done yet, but it might be a continuation of that. And at the same time, I wrote a book called Lessons that's coming out next month as well. So we've been busy, man. The pen has been moving. I'm just hoping to really, keep everybody inspired and motivated by what we're doing.
Well, Mr. Eric Roberson, I do appreciate you connecting with me tonight for the love offering. Like I said, I can't get enough of this song, and I know that you have more on the way, so I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. But for my people, let them know how they can connect with you on social media.
So you can always go to my website to just find all the social media, ericrobersonmusic.com. My Instagram is Ero44, ERRO44. Twitter is I am Eric Roberson. Foolishly, I have a different name for every social media joint. You can always go to the website to just find whichever one. We're pretty active on all of them. And at the same time, I have a thing called The Process, which is a great amount of people who subscribe to follow me in the studio. Every song I make, they get a copy of. The whole album that comes out next year is already available. You can listen to it there. And all you have to do is go to jointheprocess.com to become a member of that. So, something fun. I always suggest they might just come check it out. I think they'll have a good time.
For sure. Once again, I appreciate you, man. You guys keep it locked. I have more love offerings on the way for you right here. Your inspiration station. It's Worship 94.5 FM.